Hello from Portland. I read today that a record 58% of Americans now support marriage equality, which is very good news, and I've talked a bit on this vlog about the amazing pace of change that's happening about same-sex marriage in this country, the speed with which public opinion is shifting toward equality, which is a great thing. And I think the reason the change is happening so quickly is that most of the arguments against same-sex marriage sort of collapse if you actually know any gay people. Which leads to the other big news of the week. I think a couple of days ago, Ohio Senator Rob Portman, who's a Republican, a very conservative Republican, he served in the Bush administration, announced that his son is openly gay, and that had led him to reconsider his position on marriage equality, and he now supports marriage equality. And I think that's great. And I see some people making sort of disparaging comments about, well, it took him too long, or he should have been concerned about gay people even before he knew his son was gay. And I understand where those comments are coming from, but I think they're deeply counterproductive. Because the fact is, the reason opinions are changing in our favor so rapidly is that a lot of fairly socially conservative, traditionalist, often very religious people are being persuaded by their gay children or grandchildren or co-workers or neighbors that gay relationships are worthwhile and deserve legal protection. And it doesn't make any sense to treat support for marriage equality like it's some really cool indie band that now all the square people have discovered, and so it's not cool anymore. We want more people on our side. And I think we need to recognize that we have very good arguments to make. We have good philosophical arguments, legal arguments, political arguments. But ultimately, as I've said before, personal interactions are really what's winning this battle. And on this point, I think it would be worthwhile to practice a little empathy for perhaps older, more traditional people who are maybe not as quick to be as fully accepting of equality as we'd like. I'm not trying to make excuses for anybody, but I think it's worthwhile. If you're in your 20s right now, I think it might be hard to imagine how little exposure people in their 50s or 60s had to any kind of positive message about gay people growing up. Many people grew up never knowing there was such a thing as gay people, only kind of hearing whispers about it, seeing very negative, often tragic portrayals of it by authority figures, by media. It's the kind of issue where we're going to gain more by patience and constructive communication than by just dismissing people as hopeless because they have not been able to overcome a lifetime of ignorance in a few years. If there's someone out there who's 80 years old, who's just now kind of giving it a second thought and deciding to support marriage equality, I think that's great, and I think we should be welcoming. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.